What surprises you most when working with people?
Actually, it's a little bit hard to answer that.
Sometimes as a therapist, you might want to say that.
You don't care about how I feel.
Most everyone has some level of...
I talked to a number of international therapists about their work and what they see. Their answers might not only surprise you, but help improve your life. What surprises you most working with clients?
What seems straightforward, like a domestic violence, you know, you go, well, why doesn't the woman just leave? You know, she stays for a month or 10 months or 10 years. But, you know, people are complicated. So it is surprising, though, sometimes how much people can endure, basically. I mean, of course, that can be a good quality, but that endurance sometimes is not so great when they're in a stuck situation. Yet it's hard for them to shift that. There's very deep patterns, perhaps, that they're caught in.
Their instincts were telling them that something's not okay, something's wrong, but they ignored it, or they overrode it, or they found out that their spouse is cheating or something, and they're like, I saw red flags, I knew something was wrong.
People are very articulate about the world, about the other, about the community, about the friends and family, but very often they strangers to themselves. The inner world is kind of sometimes left behind, and there is much more focus on the outer. The other surprising thing is how resilient people are. Again, some people have been through a lot of trauma, maybe betrayal, failures, and they still showing up, they still keep going, they still want to experience love, desires, connection. So that's something that it's really beautiful to see.
I am really surprised by children's inner world. Once kids ever ask me, what kind of relationship do we have now? She means
The student.
me. And her. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's pretty deep.
Wow, how old was that student?
9 years old.
9, no.
Feelings from the inside, and that deals often with self-esteem. I think a lot of problems are around this topic. Usually, if they're really successful, you would never see from the outside, but in the inside, it's still developing.
Most everyone has some level of fear, of insecurity. People are going to find out that I don't know what I'm doing, or I am worried, or this like anxiety behind the scenes of something bad's going to happen, something's going to go wrong, I'm going to screw up my life, I'm going to drop the ball. Like, there's even really confident presenting people seem to really have this narrative running in the back of their mind if they haven't done a lot of really intentional work to overcome it.
What are some of the things that they have problems with or deal with their parents or friends or whoever maybe would not see?
I think what my parents don't know is like, they worry, they are angry, but I'm worried too.
Wow.
And I'm really concerned too. But then when they ask me, or when they show their care, I just feel very overwhelmed. Or sometimes I feel guilt. I am doing so bad. I let them down. Or I will be really upset that I'm so depressed, I'm so nervous, and the only thing you see on me is me not going to school. You don't care about how I feel, my mental well-being, right?
Problems you see people suffer with maybe in relationships.
There are often situations in our lives or growing up where we have been shamed or experienced shame, exposure, humiliation, exclusion. And so all of us carry some sensitivity to shame. And some people carry what we call ground shame. They carry shame with them that's sort of accumulated through a lot of incidents. And so that is something that happens in relationships, is someone goes into that shame place, maybe through criticism or something, and then often rather than feel the shame, they'll throw the ball onto the other person, the shame ball, and shame them, and then you can get a really destructive cycle of shame. And that does happen with many couples. Sometimes I've been caught in that myself, where the shame, because it's such an awful feeling, you want to get rid of it.
They lose connection. When I say that, it's it's not like, okay, they don't talk to each other, they don't connect with each other. It could be shown in a very subtle way. For example, like there was a couple in my counseling room, like talking to each other, and then I can see their wife became really upset. And in the beginning, maybe in the first 2 minutes, she still listened to what her husband say. But then later on, you can see like she kind of got into her inner mind. Like she just stayed inside of her. But the husband kept talking. Okay. He has a lot to say. But it's very clear at the moment they lose connection to each other. And looks like they are still communicating. She silent, seems to listen, but she is inside of her own world.
Wow.
He is trying to explain, try to get his wife back, but no, he is inside of his own world because he didn't even realize that his wife already far away.
Most people who get in relationship, there's a dynamic where one partner is the giver, one partner is happy to meet other people's needs, and often struggles to let their own needs be met, to be seen themselves. And so what that does is it creates a dynamic where one partner is constantly giving and the other partner doesn't know how to give. And the other partner tends to be the star of the show, so to speak, right? That works well initially for both people for different reasons, but it tends to break down over time and create resentment and frustration.
If when it comes to close relationships, right, it's fear of, first of all, disconnection, of fearing of abandonment, fearing of being rejected, fear of losing autonomy, agency. When people sign up for couples therapy, sometimes it happens that they wish that their partner could be changed and be more like them. So the therapy is going to work if my partner changes and the partner thinks the same, right?
When their loved one or their significant others do not understand their needs. A lot of time arguments occur because we are trying to prove we are right. Not try to understand other people's needs. I think that's the human nature.
There's a funny little video on YouTube about this guy coming for therapy, and the therapist just keeps saying, "Well, just do it. Just go ahead. What's keeping you back?" It's pretty funny because you know, sometimes as a therapist you might want to say that. But you know, that's not how it is. People don't just do it. They don't just kind of do what needs to be done. They need whatever momentum and time and support and preparation to get there.